You come into this world weighing 8 pounds 9 ounces in a small town hospital. Your parents dress you in red and gold onesies with the number 16 for the ride home. Your dad takes one look at you in that thing and decides you're going to be the next Joe Montana. 6 months later, he's still calling you that. Joe Montana is a 4-time Super Bowl champion, and you're over here gumming Cheerios. Not exactly comparable. But somehow, you start growing into the prophecy. By 18 months, you're nailing the family cat with a rattle from 15 feet with surgical precision. A little foam football becomes your favorite toy, and you're obsessed with throwing it at anything that moves. Years go by, and you're not just playing football, you're living it, breathing it, getting genuinely good at it. While other kids are playing video games, you're out there throwing passes until your mom has to drag you inside for dinner. The backyard becomes your practice field, dirt patches where grass should be, a rusty tire hanging from the oak tree as your target. Dad yells adjustments from the porch like you're already playing Sunday nights. Higher arc on that one! Lead him more! Your first big travel game rolls around. You're 9, riding the bus with kids twice your size, trying not to throw up from nerves. The opposing team's got matching cleats and warm-up gear. Your team's wearing hand-me-down jerseys and duct-tape numbers. Real confidence booster. You throw 2 bad picks in the first quarter. The other kids glare like you tanked it on purpose. Coach pulls you aside at halftime, says some generic stuff about bouncing back. You nod like you understand, but really you're just thinking about how you're going to face school on Monday. Your dad's quiet the whole ride home, which somehow feels worse than getting yelled at. You're in your room that night doing push-ups until your arms give out, promising yourself you'll never feel that humiliated again. Spoiler alert, you absolutely will. But first comes the game that changes everything. Regional Championship, age 12. Fourth quarter, you're down by 4. The crowd's actually chanting your name. Not just your parents this time, but strangers. You drop back, see the receiver break free, and launch it 40 yards downfield. Perfect spiral right into his hands. Touchdown! The stands explode. You're walking off the field and already thinking about the next game, the next throw, the next time you'll make them all stop and watch. That feeling, pure electricity running through your veins, becomes your drug of choice. The years blur together, until suddenly you're 14 and walking through the doors of your high school for the first time. Freshman year, you're riding the bench behind a senior starter. Humbling doesn't begin to cover it. You're watching from the sidelines while some 18-year-old gets all the glory you thought was yours. But you use that year to study, to learn, to get stronger. By the time sophomore year rolls around, you're not just ready, you're hungry. At 15, you're the starter. Friday night lights, packed stadiums, everyone's chanting your name. Local newspaper runs a feature about you. Hometown hero, they call it. And for the first time, you understand what it means to be the guy. Everyone knows your name in the hallways. Girls who never noticed you before suddenly find reasons to talk to you. Teachers cut you slack on assignments because, well, you're the quarterback. The whole town revolves around Friday nights, and Friday nights revolve around you. Junior year, you lead the team to the state championship. You throw for 4 touchdowns in the title game. The trophy ceremony feels like a coronation. You're throwing shoulder aches for weeks after the season ends, but nobody talks about that part. College scouts fill the stands with their clipboards and stopwatches. You're the king of a small kingdom. And it feels like this is just the beginning. Senior year becomes your victory lap. Undefeated regular season. State championship again. You're not just a local hero anymore. You're a legend. The whole town shows up for your final home game. Before you know it, you're 18, and the letters are pouring in from every major college program in the country. Signing day arrives. Full ride to a Division I powerhouse. Your dad doesn't need that second mortgage after all. Always knew you had it in you, he says. But you both know he's been holding his breath for years. College hits different. First practice, you're throwing to receivers who run routes you've never seen. The playbook is thicker than your high school textbooks. Everyone here was the star back home. Redshirt freshman year, you watch and learn. Sophomore year, you're the backup. The starter gets hurt in week 6. Coach looks down the bench and points at you. You're up, kid. 3 touchdown passes and a 70% completion rating later, you're not giving the job back. Junior year, you're the starter. And suddenly, you're not just playing football. You're performing on a national stage. College game day comes to town. Your face is on the cover of Sports Illustrated. 80,000 people chant your name every Saturday. You lead the team to 2 consecutive conference championships. Heisman Trophy finalists your senior year. The draft analyst calls you a sure thing. First-round talent with the leadership intangibles that can't be taught. You're 22 years old, and the whole world is watching. 3 months later, you're walking across the stage on draft night. First round, pick 12. The suit fits perfectly. The handshake with the commissioner feels like destiny. Your parents cry during the phone call. All those years of sacrifice, finally paying off. You're about to make more money in your signing bonus than your dad made in his entire life. Rookie year, you're the backup. Learning, watching, waiting. Year 2, you get your shot. Week 8, starter goes down with an injury. You step in and never look back. The comeback wins start piling up. Fourth quarter magic becomes your trademark. Jersey sales go through the roof. Fan mail by the bag load. You learn to ice your elbow after every game. Pop ibuprofen like candy. Just part of the job. You do the late night shows, crack jokes about your hometown, about growing up with nothing. Then comes the season that changes everything. Years 3 through 7 are pure gold. 3 Pro Bowls, 2 MVP runner-ups. You lead the league in passing yards twice. The team makes the playoffs 5 straight years. Team doctors become your best friends. MRI appointments scheduled around practice. Just some normal wear and tear, they tell the media. You're not just the quarterback. You're the quarterback. The contract extension, 5 years, $200 million. You buy your parents a house. Trade in your beat-up Honda for something with heated seats. Everyone thinks you're living the dream. And for a while, you are. Super Bowl year arrives. You throw for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns in the championship game. Confetti falls, champagne sprays, and you're holding the Lombardi Trophy while 100 million people watch. This is it. The pinnacle. Everything you've worked for since you were 9 years old. But here's the funny thing about standing on top of the mountain. Everyone expects you to stay there forever. Season after the Super Bowl, you throw for 3,500 yards and 28 touchdowns. Great numbers for anyone else. For you? Is he regressing? Has he lost a step? Maybe that Super Bowl run was a fluke. The pressure is suffocating. Every throw gets analyzed by 20 different experts. Every interception gets dissected like a murder scene. You're not just playing football anymore. You're defending your legacy with every snap. The media circus never stops. Beat reporters follow you to coffee shops. Bloggers analyze your body language in the grocery store. Social media turns every missed throw into a character assassination. You stop reading the comments, but somehow they still find their way into your head. Time doesn't stop for anyone, not even Super Bowl champions. Year 9. Your shoulders stiff in the mornings. Knee clicks on stairs. Deep ball's not quite the same. You can't put the zip on it like you used to. You're sitting in ice baths for hours. Cortisone shots before every game just to function. The team misses the playoffs for the first time in 6 years. Maybe he's holding us back, the radio hosts wonder. But you're still good. Still making Pro Bowls. Still leading the team to playoff runs. The problem is, good isn't good enough anymore. Not when you used to be great. Year 10, you tear your rotator cuff in week 12. Surgery, rehab, whispers about whether you'll ever be the same. The comparisons start. He's no Tom Brady. Peyton would have made that throw. Remember when he used to be clutch? Every quarterback in the league gets measured against you, and you get measured against the ghost of your former self, your Super Bowl self. Then comes the wake-up call. Year 11. The team drafts a quarterback in the first round. News anchors call him the future, and you're the veteran presence. Translation: you're expensive, you're aging, and your time is running out. The kid watches film like you used to. He's hungry and fearless. He's got the arm strength you've lost, the mobility you never had. Your reps start to drop. Snaps decrease. You know it's coming. You have two choices: retire gracefully or fight for every last snap. You choose to fight. Because being a quarterback is all you've ever known. It's not just what you do, it's who you are. But the game doesn't care about your identity. The conversation happens on a Tuesday. Coach sits you down for the talk. Something about giving the young guys a chance. About your contribution to the franchise. You both know what he's really saying. You retire at 33. No farewell tour, no ceremony. Just a press release about pursuing other opportunities. The local paper runs a nice retrospective. The franchise retires your number. The team moves on. And that's the thing about being a quarterback. You spend your whole life being the most important person in the room, until suddenly you're not. The cheers fade. The cameras move on. The next kid they draft grew up watching you play. You gave everything to the game. Your body, your mind, your relationships. And for a while, it gave you everything back. But the game doesn't owe you anything. It never did. 6 months later, Fox Sports calls. They want you in the broadcast booth. Now you're back in stadiums every Sunday. But this time you're wearing a suit instead of pads. You're watching other quarterbacks make the throws you used to make, explaining concepts you once lived and breathed. "Great read by the quarterback there," you hear yourself say, while some 24-year-old kid does what you spent your whole life perfecting. Last week, you watched him throw the same back shoulder fade you used to complete in your sleep. Perfect spiral. Perfect timing. The crowd erupted just like it used to for you. Every Sunday, you sit in that booth and remember what it felt like to be down there. The weight of the helmet, the roar of the crowd, the split-second decision that made or broke seasons. Now you just talk about it. So yeah, it sucks to be a quarterback. Because once you've felt that roar, once you've been the hero, once you've had the whole world watching, everything else feels like silence.